I want to shift gears now and talk about retirement. Before you actually took that kind of step, is this something you'd been dreaming of?
Yes, it was the pot of gold. I mean, other than the gold itself, it was really like it was the because money in a bank account is like it's just a number. It doesn't matter to me. The thing that the money would buy is like freedom to do whatever I wanted all day long for the rest of my life. So yes, it was absolutely the goal.
So on that day, you've got your time freedom. I'm assuming you also had location freedom, unless you had kind of family commitments.
I have family stuff, so I'm kind of I have young kids, so I'm kind of locked into being in San Diego. But I love San Diego; it's like my favorite place in the country, so that's not a bad thing
Okay.
necessarily.
And then the other kind of box of financial freedom, obviously you've checked that off. So two out of three you have. How long did the enjoyment last?
Well, it's weird because I had this transition year, right? I kind of eased into a lot of that stuff. It wasn't like I was like working 60-hour weeks and I was like just done and like, oh my God, what is this? This is crazy. Like it really felt like a transition. So it's hard to say there was like a pivotal moment. Even in my transition year, when I was still at Media Monks, I was starting to get antsy and unfulfilled. Yeah. By the time I was fully not working, I was quite uncomfortable with that. I think where it really hit me is I don't remember the exact whether it was a calendar year or whatever, but something like there was like a year period of time where I looked back on it and I literally like I took college really seriously, right? I wasn't a good student in high school, but I was a good student in college. So I literally looked back on it and I was like, this is the least I've accomplished in a year since I was 18 years old. And not just accomplished, like not monetarily, right? Because college, et cetera, but like stuff that I felt like proud of and was important to me and things I'd learned and et cetera. And I projected that out for the next 20 years. And that was like a scary, vapid existence that I did not want to. That I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, no, that's not what I want to be doing.
Were you in that period kind of doing stuff that you were super passionate about that was non-work related?
Yeah, I was surfing a lot and I love surfing and it's great, but you can't surf all day. I mean, not really, right? Like it's exhausting. Like you can do it for 2 or 3 hours. You're pretty cooked after that. The other stuff that I enjoy as hobbies or thought I would enjoy also started to feel vapid. I don't know. There's something about like video games. Good example. Video games have very little actual upside. It's a pretty point. Like it's yeah, you could say maybe you relax or tune out or whatever, but it's the same as watching TV or whatever, right? It's not like it doesn't have a lot of intrinsic value. Yet I love video games. It's pure entertainment, right? And as if you play video games like for 2 hours in the evening or something or with your friends or whatever, like it's totally that to me feels totally normal and great and fine. You play video games at like 11 a.m. on a Tuesday, and it's just there's something just different about it where it's pretty hard to look in the mirror after you do that a couple days in a row, right? I don't know. Maybe it's the Puritan work ethic. Maybe it's ground into me, and I'm totally just a victim of the culture I grew up in or something, and I need to like deprogram myself. I don't know, but uh, I'm 40 now. I think this is like fairly baked into me. And, I don't know. Maybe there was a world where I was like traveling and doing ayahuasca ceremonies and bungee jumping and stuff. I don't know. Maybe I'd feel different. Maybe I wouldn't be on this podcast. Maybe you would never hear from me again. I don't know. But realistically, yeah, I couldn't find a path that was more fulfilling than running a company. I tried a lot of stuff and none of it was more fulfilling than being in business. It wasn't as fulfilling. It wasn't as fun. It wasn't as interesting. I wasn't learning as much. It's antisocial in a lot of ways. Being retired when you're 40 or back then I was like 38 is like you spend a lot of time alone, right? Because like everyone else has a job. So yeah, it's just not, it's a bummer because like you'd think, oh, that's the dream. I think the dream is kind of you make meaning and there wasn't enough stuff for me to sink my teeth into.